Hello viewers, it's SuperGT here, welcome back to another Forza 6 video. Now in this one we are going to drive the Ford Hot Wheels Mustang. Now the thing I didn't realise about this car is that it doesn't have lights. It has rear lights, yeah, but it doesn't have front headlights. So I come to a race at the Nordschleife in the dark and I get rammed about at the start, yeah, I get pushed about. And well, it's just going to be a challenge basically to survive. If I survive this entire race, I've done very well. Into this corner here, admittedly I'm just going to make contact with that guy. Half because I couldn't really see him, but second because he just didn't really turn. But I'm not going to worry about that because I've got my own survival to think about right now. So we are going to have to do an entire lap of the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit and the Nordschleife with no lights. And on the Grand Prix circuit it's not too bad. We do have some lights on the outside there so you can see a bit, but mostly for this race it's just going to be pitch black unless I'm following someone. So we're going to skip ahead slightly towards the end of the Grand Prix circuit section. Now I'm just going to make contact with this guy. I think it is a Civic, is that right? Well, I mean I can't even see, to be honest. I can't really tell where that car is. So into the chicane, I'm just totally relying on these people ahead of me. They are my guide, they are my saviours in the light, or in the dark of the light. I don't know. I'm just basically going to follow them and hope for the best. So we're going to enter the Nordschleife section now, and this is where it gets seriously dark. And my only hope really is just to follow these two guys and hope that they don't crash and be really bad. So coming down the hill into the twisty chicane area section, I'll go over the curb. I think that guy just went over the grass completely, and I've got a very little reference to go on here. I do have the map in the bottom left, and I do have some reference where they go over the apex. I can see there, just about to see the curbs that they are going over. But if I drop back too much, then I've just basically got no hope. I pretty much have to wait for the guy behind me to catch up, overtake me, and then use him as a reference. So coming uphill, I know that we have to brake just before this corner. It's double apex right-hander, just pretty much following him like a train. That's the only thing I can do right now. And then we're going to break up this video a little bit because I know that it's just going to be quite boring watching a black screen. So we're going to go back to a historic highlight of the channel, watching this terrible start as that guy goes flying into the air, and we've got about an 82 car pile-up in a 20 car race. So that's a fairly decent start at Sebring, BAC mono, facing backwards as you do. A couple more guys just off as well through the first corner. And how about this for a highlight? This is the most epic moment on the channel, I think. This is one that most people love. The Cheating Scum video, wiping out the Cheating Scum. But back to the race. This guy is just going to go a bit wide into that corner. Even I take the right line, I don't even know where I'm going. So I'm through into fourth. But the bad thing here is that the guy in third has got a bit of a gap. So as you can see, it is just pitch black, and I don't even know. I might as well just be closing my eyes and hoping for the best. So I go over the curb. I know roughly where the track is from the map and just from my general knowledge. I must have done, I reckon, at least a couple of 100 laps around here in all of my Forza career. Probably more, maybe 1,000 at tops, at a push. So now I am just completely gone. Third and fourth are just, they've left me for dust, or left me for dead. They don't care about me. So I'm just going to have to try and make it on my own here. So again, I know the track roughly, but I don't know it there. As I go flying into the barrier, the wall just got 10 feet higher. Now there's a guy behind me, and I tried to let him pass, but again I just slam into the wall. So I'm going to have to wait for the next guy to come through, otherwise I've got no chance here. So there he is, just lighting the rear end of the car up. Going to let him go. I think there's another car as well. Yes, there is. So we're going to let those two guys go ahead. And now these two guys are going to be my next reference. So hopefully these two guys can pull me along to the end of the race. So in 7th now, if I can finish any higher than that, then that would be absolutely amazing. But if I finished any lower, then not too bad. If I beat anyone, that in itself is a miracle. Let's face it. So coming through here, uphill, we got a long straight section here. Or not too long, maybe a medium section, and then we've got the long uphill straight section or flat out section. That'll be very interesting in the dark. So into the right hander here, just relying on the guy ahead completely for braking reference. The guy in 5th just going very slow, and I'm through past him, so I'm into my favourite position, and we do have another guy up ahead there. So I believe we have about 5 cars here in very close proximity. So this is good. This is what I need to get around the lap. If I'm with no one, then that's it. I'm gone. I'm a goner. So having a couple of guys right with me, that is exactly what I need. Ideally I'd have someone behind me as well, illuminating my car. That would help. And I genuinely think if I wasn't doing third person in this, I would just be dead. If I was doing first person cockpit view, I wouldn't have made it around the Grand Prix circuit, I don't think. So at least in this view I have a reference. I can see the rear tail light, so I can see where I am in respect to the other guys. At least that is something. So we're going up to the carousel now. We're about 2/3 of the way into the lap. I see a proximity arrow behind me, so the guy is fairly close. So let's see how we can handle the carousel with no lights. Coming in, actually the guy ahead doesn't actually do it, and I actually managed to stay on the carousel, on the banking part. And I get through there quite quickly, so not too bad through there. So we're going to enter the twisty section. Now this section here is my favourite part of the circuit, but it does help if you can actually see, which I can't right now. We seem to have caught up the guy in 5th, so we have a a 4-way battle for 5th going on right now. Getting very close indeed as we enter the final stages of the race. I think my main aim here will be at least to try and finish the race. So the guy in the lead is a good 5,000 feet ahead, so he's going to trigger the countdown timer quite early. 5th and 6th make contact, and I'm through it back into my favourite position. 5th place going over the grass slightly through there. I could have capitalised on that if it was light. There's no point in capitalising on it now because I wouldn't be able to see anything, and they'll be straight back past me. So coming downhill, got a big bump here, braking just on the bump to make sure we get around this corner. I think I'm honestly doing quite well at this stage here, given that I'm in 6th place, beating a couple of people outright who have actually got lights, who can actually see. I've done quite a lot of races on this track at night, and some of the races are really good with the lights. I think I made one when I first got the game called Night Madness or something along those lines, and it was honestly one of the most terrifying races I've done ever. And I'll put a link to that in the description if I remember. So coming up to the last couple of corners before the long straight, I'm relying on this guy ahead, and he just drives off into the barrier, and I just follow him because that's all I can do. That's all I can see really, his reference. So again, making a mistake. On the straight, we have about 500 feet to the guy ahead. It doesn't look good at this stage. We're in 8th place, so we've actually lost a position from back when I was in 7th, earlier on in the race. So not good at all, but I am still beating 2 people, which in itself is a bit of a miracle. Into the last section here, grinding along the barrier, but that isn't too bad. Too bad a shot at trying to get through there. And in the end, it's going to be over a 10-minute lap time. And we've only got 10 seconds to get to the finish. The guy in the lead triggering the countdown timer quite early, and we're just about not going to finish, which is a shame. But in the end, that is not too bad. With no lights for an entire lap of the Nurburgring Nordschleife behemoth track, going around there with no lights and actually finishing, or almost finishing, is a fairly decent achievement if you ask me. So that is going to bring a close to this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this race. Subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. Hit the like button if you did like the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.